31 was the election date of 2000.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
24 years.
Yeah. When we removed these guys out of office, never to return.
Never to return.
Never to return.
Yeah, I remember those instructions.
Yes. Yeah, so thank you, Brother Mills and Comrade Isaiah. Thank you for the service to the country. And thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be on with you, sir. Yeah, it's an honor to serve.
Yeah, I want to share some views, and of course maybe to take your questions. I would like to come back though to speak on the issues of health. You know, I know that we've been criticized by some in respect to healthcare. So I really like to come back and to speak about the history of the health system and health services in Dominica, where we were when we came into office, and where we are now in respect to healthcare, because there are attempts by opposition elements to seek to set aside all of the great things that we have done.
Oh yes.
With healthcare is concerned and many other things, but I would like to come on sometime to spend more time on this matter specifically. But as you know, we have been working diligently in respect to the construction of international airport. Yeah. Work is going on satisfactorily. We on schedule.
Amen.
There are hundreds of Dominicans, now over 300 Dominicans were employed directly on site, and the numbers keep increasing, and they're still looking for additional workmen and workwomen. And of course, the many people who are employed indirectly and who are benefiting indirectly, you know, whether it's from the purchase of cement, the purchase of construction material, the purchase of food items, purchase of agricultural items, the purchase of diesel from Petrocaribe, you know, all of these entities, insurance companies benefiting from the international body. You have to, because you have to insure the site and insure certain aspects of the construction. You're talking about the many people in Westland, Woodfordale who are selling more because there are more people in Westland and Woodfordale area as a result of the construction of the airport, because there are several people who are out of the area, who come from out of the area and were working there. Some who found places to rent in Westland and Woodfordale as they work on the construction site. You know, so the spillover from the site is huge, and so we're happy that work is ongoing satisfactorily. And of course, by the end of this year, one will appreciate what the airport runway will look like. When you go there, you will see a lot of excavation, a lot of cotton field taking place, you know. But by the end of 2024, you will have an appreciation for what the runway looks like, and so one can say, okay, yeah, we're seeing something. So just to give an idea, comrades, we have to purchase cement worth in the excess of $20 million US.
Wow.
That is not to mix concrete, you know. That is just to mix with the soil for compacting.
Wow.
$20 million US. And so you can imagine how much cement we're going to need when you're talking about construction of the runway, the construction of the culverts, construction of the buildings, etc., etc. So that's just for the use of cement for compacting purposes. We have to spend in excess of $20 million US on cement.
Wow.
You understand? Because of the nature of the soil. I have been told that, you know, the soil it has a lot of moisture, and in order to allow it to dry within a particular period of time and with the firmness that's required, then you have to do this. I'm also happy that we're making payments, as you know, this week.
Oh yes.
Some $15 million dollars. You know, there's a lot of money in any currency.
Any currency.
Any currency you put it, it's a lot of money. And I'm happy that we are able to continue making the payments. That's to say to people that we have compensated the vast majority of people who we owe on the site. There are people who have chosen for us to build homes for them instead of cash, people who have accepted cash-only payment. the people who have accepted cash and land swaps, and all of those things are ongoing. Obviously, one has to appreciate that it can be very tedious because there are also legal issues that one has to deal with. Sometimes the parents are dead and the children there's no will, or there's a will, it hasn't been probated, etc., etc., etc. People have to present their original certificate of title in order to get compensated by the Treasury. So there are a number of processes, but as we get money, we make payments, and I'm happy that we're able to make such a huge chunk available,
significant,
available to pay out. So if you can imagine $15 million in the village of Westfield alone this week.
Oh yes, that's a significant sum of resources.
And I listen to the EDL people, folks, and they're so, I don't know why they're so angry that we're making payments. These people are so angry and upset that people are receiving their money, but they were trying to make an issue out of the government owing the people. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
now that you're paying the people, or now that you continue to pay the people, and you're making such a huge payment, they're upset to the point where, it smoked out Mr. Edison James, who's now come back to the fore to be the ULP spokesperson.
Right. That's a crisis moment for them when they come out.
Yeah. Of course. And then you have the issue. For example, I had somebody say that we paid a dead person for his land. No. If a man dies and he left no will, we have to pay the money to the dead man's estate. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And what we normally do is that we open an account in the National Bank, and the monies are deposited into a special account in the dead man's estate, so that whenever the family would have settled their legal issues, you understand? Then the court will decide how these monies are shared among the beneficiaries.
Yeah.
So, but there's sometimes people want us to give them the check. Like a child may say, "Give me the check, I'll share it." No, we can't do that.
No.
Can't do it that way.
For example, a man dies. He has children. He died. He left a will. There's an executor of the will. One person wants us to give her the check. The other, who is the executor, wants us to give the check.
Yeah.
We are supposed to give the executor the check, but he must present documents.
Oh yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the AG office can cross-check it, make sure it is in keeping with the law before we give him the check. You understand?
Yeah.
So they're making all sorts of innuendos and all kinds of aspersions and so on to throw cold water.
Yes.
Over something so significant.
And
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like at the hospital. I mean, 99% of the time we go to the hospital, you get excellent service.
Of course.
There may be one time a nurse has an issue, a doctor may have an issue. These are human beings. They may say something to you, they may say something to you that they should not say, and so on. And we use that to defend the service at the hospital, its entirety, rather than speaking about the specific circumstance or the specific experience. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So with regards to the international airport, 15 million are being paid. After this is paid, I think we owe about less than $15 million.
Okay.
Right? And in the next few weeks, we open up in a position to amortize that debt owed to the property owners. Okay? And then that will be it in terms of monies owed to property owners on international airport project. Now, okay, so now you hear some folks talking about, well, the country is broke. How can the country be broke when it's building the largest infrastructural project in its history?
Billion-dollar project.
Over $1.3 billion.
That's a lot of money.
And not only that, that's the country. We had to go ahead and spend a significant amount of money on the extension of the Douglas Charles.
Yeah. At the same time.
To sustain the American airline flights that are coming in, because as you know, when it rains, it is very difficult to land, especially with having the mountain there. And so we're spending a significant amount of money. And that will be over $30 million for the extension and the grooving, because we have to groove the runway.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if I did not have to extend the runway and spend over $30+ million on the runway, you know how many bills I could pay with that?
Another bill.
$30 million.
You know how many people who we owe in that we could pay with that?
That could wipe off the bill that they left.
But for us to bring foreign exchange into the country, for us to ensure that the taxi operators, the vendors, the tour guides, the restaurant owners, the hotel owners have people come in the country, we have to invest in the infrastructure for tourism.
By the way, PM, we saw between yesterday and today, the tourist ship, they have at least a potential of over 10,000 people visiting the island between today and yesterday, based on the capacity of the ship that visit us for the past 2 days.
So, I saw that we had 4 yesterday.
Yeah.
So we have to spend over $37 million on the extension of the runway alone. Money that we could have used to pay off several things in the country. But it was a tough decision I had to make as a Prime Minister. Do I spend that money to pay off who we owe in, or do I use this money to extend the runway so as to ensure that we can continue to have a direct flight from North America, with the possibility of having a direct flight from New York to Dominica?
Oh, yes.
All of the economic activity.
And that will help increase economic activity that will give you more money to pay.
because you see, comrades, I would say to the Dominicans, this party has invested significantly in education, in agriculture, in public infrastructure, in tourism, in healthcare, in social safety net, you name it. But this international airport, in my mind, and I believe in the minds of the majority of Dominicans, and even independent observers, people who are not Dominicans, is what's going to transform the economy of Dominica.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
This is what is going to bring the windfall to Dominica's international airport. Because once we can address people who want to come to Dominica, but it's difficult for them to get to Dominica. And I think once we remove this impediment of not having an international airport, that is what's going to transform Dominica. That is what's going to bring the kind of revenues that we need in the country to properly provide goods and services for our citizens and to continue to expand and grow the economy of Dominica. We're building hotels. We're providing soft loans to property owners in Dominica, and also for the Citizens by Investment Program. Right? So a significant number of rooms have been brought on the market, and several are on stream in the next few months and so forth. And for us to sustain those investments, the international airport must be built. And so if we were not building the international airport, we will not be in a position to owe anybody in Dominica.
That's a lot of money.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what do I do? And you know, it is like I was saying to some people a few days ago. It is like you building a house, right? And many of us in Dominica building homes and so on. We take a loan to build a home. So and there's some people in fortunate circumstances where you're building, and at the same time you're paying your mortgage, you're paying rent. Okay? But you have an old motor car. You want to change your motor car, but you have given priority to the home. And so when you finish building the home, you will stop renting, and therefore you have more disposable income. And then you can go to the bank and say, well, I want to refinance, I want to take a vehicle on the loan, and I will use that amount of money to pay for the vehicle.
Prioritization.
You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you will have an asset, the house, that will have a value to it, and of course you have your own home. So you have to make the sacrifices you have to sacrifice small things sometimes for bigger, more transformational things.
Oh yes,
yes, that's for sure.
You see what I'm saying? So if let's look at geothermal, for example. I'm not going to talk about how much money we've invested in geothermal before, which is an absolutely national imperative, a project that must be done, and the government should give all its full support to have it done, because we understand what it will do for the economy of Dominica. But last year we had to contract, and we out to tender a loan from the World Bank of $38.5 million, which is over $104 million. That is just for the transmission lines from Loda to Fokole.
100 million.
So you know, if I didn't have to do this geothermal project, what we could have done with $104 million in Dominica?
That's It's a lot of things.
We'll pay all contractors and service providers we owe, and we still have a lot of money left.
Oh, yes.
We have a lot of money left. But that geothermal will bring us revenue, will help reduce the cost of doing business in Dominica. And if you reduce the cost of doing business in Dominica, people will have more disposable income. You'll attract more investors to Dominica.
For sure.
You understand? The hotels will reduce on the cost of operation. If you reduce the cost of operation, then therefore you will make more money.
Oh, yeah.
And those of us who have domestic electricity service will pay less, and therefore will have more disposable income. So these are transformational projects that the government is investing in heavily.
Oh, yeah.
We, as you know, we just contracted $100 million for the roads enhancement. The city is our capital.
Yeah.
We have to ensure that we have the best infrastructure in our capital to enhance doing business, to enhance communication, to enhance movement in the city.
So far,
So that's where everything happens in the country, in the city of your country.
that's almost an entire $250 million worth of investment apart from the airport project.
You understand what I'm saying? Wow. So all of these monies I could use as Prime Minister, the government could use as Prime Minister to pay whoever we owe in and not owe anybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you have it is a private sector, joint private sector, public sector project, the cable car.
Oh, that's another world marvel.
Favorite project.
That's a world marvel.
I mean, on Sunday last week, I saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tourists in town. And of course, yesterday with the cruise ship, 4, and today we have 2.
Yeah.
And I am satisfied that the majority, not all of these people, will want to go to the Boiling Lake.
Oh, yes.
You remember when we had the aerial tram?
Oh, yes.
I mean,
that was very popular.
Almost 100% of tourists who came to Dominica went on the aerial tram.
It's a very popular attraction.
You understand? And so all of these things are being done to encourage the entry and to facilitate the entry of foreign exchange into Dominica. Mm-hmm. And when more people come, more consumption. People eat more, people drink more, people use more services. And as a result, the government will have more revenue, more VAT revenue. If the government has more revenue, then the government will do many other things in the country. So if we remove those projects, comrades, the challenge which the government has from time to time in paying this person would be no longer.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because, before these projects came on stream, we were not owing anybody.
No.
Huh?
No, we were not at all.
We were not.
Not at all.
And when you have, for example, if the cost of goods go up on the shelves, as they have, because of the Ukraine-Russia war and supply chain issues, okay, prices of goods have gone up everywhere in the world. The government is the largest consumer of goods and services.
Oh, yes.
And so if your cost of living has gone up, right, which it has because you pay more on the shelves.
Of course.
Imagine the government, who is the major consumer of goods and services.
Volume.
When the cost of diesel and gas go up, it also affects the government.
Yeah.
Because the government is the largest consumer of diesel and gasoline products. You understand? So monies that you would have had as your disposable income, you now have to pay it to service the country. Mm-hmm. That is to say, to provide goods and services to the country. So it'll cost you more to run the police. It'll cost you more to run the hospital. It'll cost you more to run the prison. It'll cost you more to run the government system itself, the public service itself. It'll cost you more to run the fire service. When someone calls the ambulance can't say without gas. You must provide gas to the fire service.
Yeah.
When the police has to patrol the shores of Dominica, the waters of Dominica every single day, we can't make the police run out of diesel.
Not at all.
You understand? We were speaking to Grambling University because we take a decision not to send more students to Grambling. No, you know we had a meeting with the president of Grambling, and now he's begging us to send students.
Wow.
I think the critics need to hear that.
He's begging us to send students. He said, "What can we do? What can we do? What can we do to attract more Dominicans? Because we are concerned that you're not sending students because we decided to send students to other universities. And in the last 8 years, right, we paid Grambling $12 million United States dollars for students studying at Grambling State University.
12 million.
Just Grambling State University.
That's a significant customer. They're going to lose.
You understand what I'm saying? Just Grambling State University alone. I'm not talking about the other universities. And then with regards to the cost of living, cost of service in the country, you know, in September we increased the salaries of public officers.
Yeah.
On average of 6%, with some people getting as high as 14% increase.
Significantly.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? That has also impacted the cost of government doing business. But it is a commitment which we made to public officers. And when the report came out, we had no choice but to fulfill our commitment to the public officers by increasing their salaries.
Yeah, man, as I'm listening to you, I mean, it's really staggering to comprehend the volume of resources, the volume of financial resources that's being spent in this country at one particular time. I mean, because these projects are happening concurrently. Concurrently,
not one at a time. All of them happen at the same time.
At the same time.
Yes, and I'm not talking about the big ticket items. You know, I'm going to talk about housing. I'm going to talk about roads reconstructing our farm roads. I'm going to talk about our investment in agriculture. I'm going to talk about our investment in healthcare and the machinery and the supplies that we have to supply. I'm going to talk about those things.
The NEP, $5 million a month.
I'm going to talk about the NEP.
My God.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to talk about that.
And we cannot forget the non-contributory pension.
People getting about $325 a month. The people who are not entitled to this by law because they did not make sufficient contributions to the DSS to receive a pension. But when I went across the country and people kept telling me, Skerrit, you know, I work for the public works, I work on the road and so forth. And when I checked, they did not meet the quality, the requirement, the contributions. They did not pay enough into the Social Security.
Not only that, but it is down to age 65.
You know what I'm saying? And now we are paying this to people. I believe the bill for that is in excess of $1 million every month.
Wow. That's $12 million a year.
Over $1 million every $1.2 or $1.3 million every month we pay for the non-contributory pensioners. And that people who the government has no obligation to, but by a policy decision of the government, we are providing this allowance to people, and the people appreciate it because it means it does something positive for them.
Makes a significant impact on their lives, on the quality of life.
You know what I'm saying? You know. I mean. So they will pay the little TV or they will pay the little groceries. And mix it with what they have.
They comfort at this time.
But that means a lot to them. So if we were to stop all of these things, if we were to stop the homes that we're granting to people free of charge, if we were to stop the NEP, if we were to stop this non-contributory pension, if we were to stop the free medical care at the hospital for people 18 and younger and 16 over, my brother have millions of dollars every month at my disposal to play with.
Oh yeah,
significant volume.
Millions. That will bring me $70 or so million.
Very important for people to understand.
But those things are important because they make a huge impact on the lives of people. When you go to a community at Grand Fond, and let's say you have 50 people in Grand Fond and NEP beautifying the place, and they do such a wonderful job up there. The place is so clean, so beautiful, from Rosalie up to the last point in Grand Fond. Comrade, that's $50 million every month in the pockets of ordinary folks in Grand Fond, in one little village. $50 million in circulation.
Wow.
Because each of them get $1,000. That's correct, right? 50.
How many of them?
50,000, right?
50,000, yes. 50,000.
Yeah, 50,000. I'm a linguistic learner, you know.
The millions, yeah.
50,000.
So that's 50 $1,000 circulating every month in Grandpa.
That's in one community.
You know what I'm saying? Scott said may have 60 of them. 60 times 1,000.
60,000.
60,000 in Scott said, if Scott said one road. Can you imagine that?
Oh, yes.
But if I stop this tomorrow, all of this 5 million doesn't pay for anything. We would have it every month.
Yeah.
If I stop the non-contributory pension, that's 1.2. That's $6.2 million I have. If I stop paying, because we're not supposed to pay monies for students studying overseas or for university, our mandate is up to 16 years. Yeah. Our mandate is up to 16 years. This is why no government before us has spent so much money on higher education, on university education. But all of these are policy decisions because of the benevolence and the founding principles of the Dominican Labour Party.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
This project, this policies are specific to Labour. And all the money that we put in for 0% interest loan and 2% interest loan for farmers, agriculture, for small businesses.
Millions of dollars.
For hotel development. I went to visit a businessman in Dominica. And he's saying to me, Skerrit boy, had it not been for the money that you put at the 8 bank at 2%, I won't be able to do this expansion.
Amen to that.
And he got $2 million loan from that.
Amen to that.
And if he had to go to the National Bank or the First Caribbean, the Republic Bank, that would be 12% interest.
Wow. 10% more.
12% interest. We get him at 2%.
Significant savings.
That's phenomenal. That's just
we have the loans. We put in $27 million at the aid bank. It's almost done.
Yeah.
People taking the money to invest in small business, invest in agro-processing, invest in agriculture, invest in tourism-related projects and programs to make money for themselves at a low interest rate.
Very low.
So we've used a lot of the CBI monies to place at the disposal of Dominicans, and we still continue to do that.
To empower them, build up their businesses.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just giving the country an understanding of when they hear the government maybe owing this person, or the government owing me, or the government owing you. What may be the cause of that? And there's always a justification. There's always a justification to increase taxation in small economies like ours.
Oh, yeah.
But how many of us, listen to me, want to pay more tax? Because I could put a 2 percentage points on the VAT, and I could make all the money I need to pay people who we owe. But how many of us would like that?
And none of these projects are adding to the tax burden of Dominican citizens.
Yeah, it's something. How many of us would want that? How many of us would want me to reverse the decisions that we made in respect to the income tax? We increased the income tax threshold dramatically.
Significantly, over 10, 20,000.
We reduced the percentage rates. I could reinstate those and easily pick up a 15, 16, 17 million dollars more.
I think if you had to quantify the amount of revenue the government is foregoing and passing on directly to people.
Yes, sir. We took a loan of $40 million US to build homes for people from the World Bank. If we were selling those homes to each person, let's say we decided to sell those homes at $150,000 times 40. Do the maths. How much I could collect from that?
Yeah.
But we get those homes at no cost to these people. $40 million US. We're spending to build those homes for needy families.
40 homes at 150,000. That's already $6 million.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm giving a low rate. And you're talking. No, sorry, comrade. It's 420 homes we're building. So it's 150,000 times 420.
That's $63 million.
You know what I'm saying? And what could I do with $63 million as Prime Minister, how would you advise me to spend $60 million? I could pay everybody who you owe, right?
Yeah.
For supplying goods and services to government and still have plenty money left.
That's a lot of capital.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So these are the kinds of things that we're talking about. And what Dominicans must understand, especially I'm speaking here specifically to some of my Labour Party people, who some of them like to get carried away and this and that and whisper it and talking a lot of foolishness sometimes. That we have to understand that because the UWP has criticized those programs so dramatically,
incessantly,
right, and in incessant manner, and so violently, that there's a clear understanding that if these guys were to come into government, they would have stopped all these programs.
Oh yeah.
God forbid. Yeah, that's exactly what would happen.
I mean, the UWP call the senior citizens lazy because they own the history care program, greedy because they want the history care program. Because all of these programs are policy initiatives. They're by way of cabinet decisions. And all it doesn't require a cabinet decision to reverse it. All it requires is a memo from the Prime Minister.
As easy as that, they could.
Easy as that. I could stop the NDP program within a few seconds.
Yeah.
The history care program, the pension for non-contributors, the education assistance, housing assistance, and home construction. You understand?
Yeah, very much so.
But to what end if we were to stop this? How would people's lives be dramatically affected if we were to stop this? How? And the sheer cost of assisting people to go and get specialized medical interventions overseas, that never stopped?
No.
Never stopped. I mean, just yesterday, I had to approve for someone to go who fell ill, unfortunately, and I pray God for the person's successful recovery.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cost us about $150,000 US. But what do I do as Prime Minister? If somebody comes to me with a serious medical ailment which requires medical intervention overseas, what do I do? Do I tell the person, go and pray? The person has prayed.
Of course.
But we have to find the money. We have to find the $150,000 US to help a person.
God bless you for that, Pierre.
You understand what I'm saying? So I wanted to share those perspectives with us on this big ticket items. And when people talk about the government OA and the government this and the government, we can have a windfall if we stop these things.
Dominicans should really be proud of
and I'm not even talking about how much money we paid, for example, in the last 6 months for debt.
Oh yeah, which is ongoing.
Apart from the compensation to the families.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so comrades, we have to look at things from a wider perspective. For example, even with regards to telecommunication services, electricity, these things have increased. So, for example, in respect for the calendar year of 2023, in respect to debt servicing, we paid in excess of $120 million for debt repayments.
Wow.
120 million.
That's $10 million a month.
As a public service by itself.
You know, and what I was doing back then, and you know, Hurricane Mary came and really threw me off.
Yeah.
I've said so to the country before. I was saving money for two things, as we know in the country. I was saving money to repay our national debt. And at the time Maria came, we had about $380 million saved in an account. $380 million saved in an account. Obviously, I had to use the money to fix people's roofs I had to use the money to pay the salaries of both public and private sector employees, because I always felt that we needed to maintain the dignity of the human being by keeping everybody in work.
Amen.
Yeah.
Even if they're not working. And as you know, for several months we're getting no revenue because we waive all the taxes, VAT, import duties, custom service charge at the airport, at the ports, to allow people to bring in the construction materials, to allow private sector people to restock. And then at the time we had over $200 million saved for the airport. Had it not been for Maria, we would have had all of the money we needed to build the airport cash.
Yeah.
Cash, without loans. Cash. And then we would have had enough money to pay off our national debt. And we would have 0% of GDP in terms of national debt. And we would have been the first developing country in the world to achieve this.
Wow.
And what I was going to do, the money that we were paying for the loans, I was going to create a special account at the central bank that the government would deposit into this account every month. So you see the $120 million that we paid in 2024, 2023 for debt repayment, that money would have gone into a special account, and we could have used that money to further invest in the country and not require us to be taking loans. Because we were able to raise those funds because the majority of our debt monies came from local resources, from revenues from taxes. So the economy is making money. The government revenues are okay. What the Chinese government has is that its expenditure has increased. And with the major capital projects, which we consider to be transformational projects, we are now spending significant amount of money on those areas. And if those monies were available to us otherwise, instead of constructing the airport, instead of doing the geothermal project, where would we be? Where would we be? So, and you know, we also look. If you look at the reduction in the on VAT on electricity, we're losing about $4 million in revenue every year from Domlec regards to that. So this is where we are, and I'm looking to come back to you to talk about health more specifically. But before I leave, I don't want to take all of the time. I hate to take your time because I know you have more important callers.
You have very important statement there.
I know I may be an important caller, but you have more important callers, you know, who are lined up to call.
I'm sure
and I don't want to detain them from that.
But you answer a lot of questions there, PM, when you make those statements.
Thank you. Now, finally, we had two very successful visits in the last couple of weeks. One from the European Union. The head of the visa office in the European Union came to visit us along with other members of his team. That meeting went very, very well. They went to the CBI unit. They went to the immigration unit. They went to the FIU. They did their own auditing, their own investigations, and by and large, they're very satisfied with what we have done and what we're doing.
Amen.
And so the meeting was very constructive. I think they have a completely different perspective in many respects in regards to the CBI program, because they rely on what they hear and what they're told, but coming down themselves in their fact-finding mission and going through the system and questioning various persons who were involved in the processes. You know, they said they left Dominica with a better mindset than when they came. And so we're very grateful for that. The new legislation we passed is very helpful, addressing some of the issues that they have raised in the past. We're addressing those. For example, the change of names. We're addressing those. Strengthening the regulations regards to the marketing and the promotion of Dominica's CBI program. We're addressing those. So the number of measures that we've taken, and so we look forward to their recommendations, which will submit to us, and whatever additional actions that we have to take, then we're prepared to take them. But they left Dominica. They said, I'm not repeating what they're saying, that they left with a better mindset than when they came, and they have a better appreciation for it, and they've seen what we're doing with the resources, where the CBI is concerned, in a very transparent manner. So that's very helpful.
Very helpful.
The second delegation that came in this week, I met with them on Monday, is with from the UK government, from the Home Office. They too came on a fact-finding mission to see what we have done and to see what we're doing. They too were very happy. They came themselves physically to see what are happening, and they left with positive attitude towards what we're doing. They're happy with the legislation because we send copies to them, so they have access to it. They came in to see the system, how it works, what's doing. We allow them to have meetings with the EU and as well with the DD firms, so that they can understand what the DD firms are doing. They had engagement with GRCC, what they're doing. They had discussions with the head of FIU in terms of their involvement and the need for them to be more involved, and that is going to be done. As a matter of fact, I issued the letter already today for the FIU to be more involved in the CBI program. And so because we're working with the UK with a view to reinstating the visa arrangements, I'm going to be sending a retired senior police officer to our mission in the UK, who will assist the Home Office with whatever issues they may have there, and so that we can have a more physical presence in the UK and a more live interaction with the UK Home Office, and they welcome that decision. So in the next couple of months, we will just send someone up there for 6 months in the first instance, and of course with the view of further extending that person's stay. So they're very and what I've said to them, and they've agreed, because we're talking to the Americans, we're talking to the UK, we're talking to the EU, and I said, why don't you guys get together? It's something I suggested to them some time ago, but they finally agreed. Why don't you come together and make joint recommendations, rather than each of you coming sometimes with the same recommendations? And so they have agreed on that, and they have said they will meet among themselves and then come up with some joint recommendations. So they have asked us, you don't need to take any further actions. What you have done so far is okay. Wait for us to because we want to ensure that which you take in makes sense to everybody. So we're holding our horses on further action that we want to take in regards to our program until we hear from the UK and the EU jointly. So very, very constructive engagement. As I've said to people, look, we are transparent. This is not a foolproof system, but we try our best to follow the processes and ensure that we maintain the integrity of the program, because we understand how important it is to us. But I have always extended an invitation to all our external partners to come in. Don't take our word for it. Come and see what we're doing. If you see we're doing things that we should be doing, tell us. If you see things that we're doing that we should be doing more of, let us know. Because we recognize that we have a duty and obligation not only to ourselves, but to the rest of the international community. And we're prepared to do everything necessary to ensure that we can set aside the concerns which any of our partners would have. And so I'm happy that they came, first of all, and I'm even more elated that they left with a positive attitude towards our program and the actions that the government has taken in seeking to ameliorate the concerns which they have. And we just have to keep monitoring and ensure that we continue to do what we have to do.
Amen.
That's great news,
Okay.
PM.
Okay. But I've taken too much of your time. I only called for 5 minutes. So I recognize I've taken more than that. But I said I will come back next week, and maybe we can speak to health and whatever other questions you may have or the public may have.
That would be great.
With regards to the governance of the country. We are open to this. There's nothing to hide. We can speak to any issue, any question that anybody may have in the country. But we continue to look ahead. The road enhancement project, the cable car, the hotel development continuing. We're hoping that some can open this year and early next year. The growth in agriculture, more housing. There are hundreds of homes under construction. We will see more of that taking place. I'm hoping this year we can now physically launch in a physical way of actual construction the future housing project up at Warner in the first instance. we have several schools. We have several schools under construction. As you see, Goodwill is under construction. People has been mobilized and they're ready to dig the foundation. I know Kairi folks have some concerns about the playing field, and I'm hoping that people can understand, that there's something has to give for something that might be better. So I'm hoping that cool heads can prevail and let us be practical and pragmatic and sensible about what we recommend and the concern that we have. We will always have concerns, but let us understand that something has to give sometime in life. I mean, even my own village and so on. I mean, we've had to fence off almost half of the playing field to allow for the construction of the school.
Oh yeah.
And all the residents there are okay with it, because they understand the importance of the school to the community, and it's something that they have asked for a very long time. And I think Thibault and Kairi are in the same circumstance, and I think we need to, so I will hope, hopefully, maybe after the carnival, I will meet the residents there to understand what their real challenges are, and so see how we can navigate those challenges so that everybody can benefit from the construction of the school. So despite the challenges, we are forging ahead.
Oh, yes.
Amen.
We are forging ahead, and we are forging ahead with big ticket items.
Oh yes,
yeah, very big,
major items.
My mind now is on big things.
Transformational.
Big things, and we have an opportunity, to really propel the country into a different sphere of economic transformation and economic development.
Amen.
And I think we're on the right track.
Definitely.
Notwithstanding the little nagging challenge that you have, but that's part of life. But we have to forge ahead, and we're forging ahead with these big ticket items. And of course we're finalizing plans for the cruise ship village.
Amen to that.
That's to signal the country there's a firm, there's a group that is prepared to advance the financing. They would finance and build the cruise ship village for us, and then we would repay them with revenues from the cruise village, so that we don't have a debt on our books, and we're able to build this. I'm hoping next week to have further discussions with them. But as time goes by, I will be in a better position to give you more specific details on that. So we're looking at different ways of financing, and in some cases even away from the CBI. So that's one of the things we're sticking to do within the government and so forth. But despite the challenges, we're forging ahead, and I believe that in the next year or so, this little challenge we're having will go away. And we can focus on these big things. And I think the big things are in international airport, the geothermal, the extension of the runway at the Douglas Charles, the hotel development, the cable car, roads enhancement, further investment in agriculture, further investment in housing, and infrastructure, Dominic. We're now speaking about the financing of the road from the airport to Portsmouth. And those of us who know that area will appreciate how many new bridges we have to construct.
Yeah.
The bridges alone are going to cost us a fortune. But we are equal to the task, and I give the country the assurance that the government is fully mindful of what's happening, and then we're forging ahead.
Yeah.
And we have to forge ahead. And we must not allow ourselves as citizens to get bogged down by our own little personal circumstance. Because your personal circumstance is not going to have an impact on the country. What's going to have an impact on your personal circumstance is how the country does, and now and in the future.
Indeed.
Let us focus on the big things that all of us will benefit from, because all of us will benefit from the international airport. All of us will benefit from the geothermal. All of us will benefit from the expansion of the airport. All of us will benefit from the cable car. All of us will benefit from the hotel development that taking place. All of us will benefit from the investment in agriculture. You understand what I'm saying? All of us will benefit from this thing. And this is where we're focusing on. Because we have to create an economy that can sustain itself. And I'm hoping to meet it with tourism stakeholders. Because I want to transform those tourism sites. We have to upgrade all of those tourism sites in the country to allow for better and more upscale amenities. And I'm talking Trafalgar Falls. We'll start with the major sites.
There might see something happen in Champagne area.
That's part of it. But we will present to you, and we will be engaging architects to come up with more exciting architectural designs. And so when I go to, if you go to the Trafalgar Falls, when you bathe in the falls, you must have a proper place to get a shower and to change, so that when you live there, you can go to church, you can go back to work. Some say likewise the Titu Gorge, so that this is what I'm looking to and I'm not ruling out the government going in and acquiring a significant loan to invest in those areas. And so I'm hoping to meet with some of the tourism stakeholders to share those views and to get the views and to put a national team together to oversee the implementation of this. Because we have to upgrade this. The natural sites are there, but we have to upgrade them. Yes, we have done a lot of work in the past on this, but it comes a time we have to take it to a next level. And so you will be saying, because all of these things must be done to complement the construction of the hotels, complement the construction of the cable car, complement the construction of the international airport, complement the expansion of the airport, complement the expansion of the new construction of the new cruise ship village, etc., etc. And I think we have to upgrade the sites and train more people, raise the level of service in the country, raise our attitude, towards guests coming to our country, and to really make Dominica the truly hospitable destination in the world, the most hospitable destination in the world.
Indeed.
Okay, but thank you very much, comrades. I'm not sure if you have any parting questions.
But the only thing I like to summarize is that based on what the discussion that you had with us here and with the public, we are getting a big picture of what is happening in the next 5 years. When all these projects shall be completed, and the less dependent we're going to be on the CBI. That's just a general picture I'm getting from that.
My brother, in the next 5 or so years, you will not recognize Dominica in a positive way.
Transform.
You understand? We that's right. And if when I made the point of free me up, which has become now another major phrase. It's on carnival t-shirts and so on. When I made the point, it is about, if I had, this is a democracy and you have to consult and people share views and everybody have different views and sometimes people consult not to advance things. Some people want to be consulted to hold back things.
Yes.
If I consult you, give me your views on the thing. Tell me what you don't like and what you like, and what you don't like, such as what's an alternative. But we can't just keep saying we don't want this, we don't want that. Or why you spending money on this? Why we don't international airport? Why are you extending the runway? But if American Airlines stop coming tomorrow because we didn't extend the runway, the same people would say, oh, you say why you guys didn't extend the runway? And there's just too much unnecessary talking in this country, to be honest with you, in a negative way. And I think if people give me a little more freedom to do what I believe that the people want done, then let's get it done.
Full speed ahead.
But you're right, Mr. Mills.
Yeah.
The whole idea is to grow the economy such that our reliance on the CBI would be completely and dramatically lessened. Lessened. You understand what I'm saying? So our economy can generate increased revenues to run itself. Because the World Bank did an independent study, and they say, look, the hotels are being constructed and so on. Once they're fully operational, they can bring in an additional $40 million US by way of direct revenues to the country.
40 million.
US.
Yes. US,
additional.
100,000.
Additional. You know what I'm saying? So this is the things we're talking about. And when you build the airport, because we need consumption, and you can only get consumption by people coming in. And with the challenges that you're having with intra-regional travel, then the international airport is certainly crucial. Okay? Any other questions before I leave?
Yes, one small question I had, PM. Well, you can just a reminder for everybody to know the expected date of completion of the airport, and then another significant thing in terms of the purchase of Dom, which we know many years ago was, squandered away by a former administration. What was your thinking at that time? And of course, thanks to your prudence, we were able to purchase it. Can you speak to that?
Well, I always believe that in small countries like ours, the state should have control over these utilities. water, electricity. You understand? I believe that the state should have control over it, because these things have serious implications for national security.
Indeed.
And so that's one of the reasons why we went ahead and acquired, but also to protect the Dominican citizens. When government owns something, we're not particularly preoccupied with getting dividends from that. When we get dividends, great, and we want these companies to run as if they were completely private. This is why I don't get involved in the day-to-day affairs of Dominic, because I want Dominic to be managed like any private sector entity, so that if we can get some revenues, that'll be great. So it's important for us to control those utilities in a small country like ours, and the government's role is crucial in those areas. But I said we're committed to continue servicing outstanding bills or debts that we have. We keep on paying as we go along. But one has to understand that you have those challenges because of your focus on so many crucial and important far-reaching transformational projects and programs.
Really commend you for your outstanding work, you and your cabinet PM, and for your undying commitment to the country. Really and truly.
I mean, it's not easy. I mean, running a small country like ours with also challenges. I mean, most of the challenges you have are things that you have no control over because they come from external sources, and you have to navigate these things. It's not easy to run this country. We don't complain because I tell people leaders must not complain. Leaders must find solutions to challenges, and that's what I continue to do. That's what I've done in all my years as Prime Minister and member of Parliament. I don't complain. I am not sharing those things with people so they can have a better appreciation for why the country is where it is now and where the country intends to take itself in the next 5 to 10 years. And it's important to share information so people better understand and appreciate the issues. But my optimism is sky high, and I'm not saying so because I'm the Prime Minister of the country.
Just listening to you, mine reached a high in the sky today.
PM, I experienced that with you immediately after Hurricane Maria.
Yeah, we don't go on. I don't want somebody who's going to hide when a challenge comes and hide under a bed or something, or go and hide in the bushes in the vehicles. No. We face challenges. Leaders must face challenges and must not be lamenters. You show people engage into lamentation and money. Money don't buy love.
Yeah.
We have to engage the citizens of the country and explain to them and let them understand. Those who don't understand, fine. Those who understand, thank God for that. Those who want to be silly continue to be silly, and those who are interested in the country will understand and let the chips fall where they may. But there's no other party in this country who has faced these challenges that we have faced or I have faced as leader of the country, and I've overcome them. And if this country overcame Maria, and if this country overcame the COVID-19, my brother, there's no challenge anybody can place before us that we can overcome.
Amen. I believe
none.
I believe into that.
You understand? Because we don't place our faith and confidence in ourselves. We place it in the Lord.
Amen.
And the Lord is on our side, and we're on His side.
Yeah.
And if the Lord is on your side and you're on His side, my brother, what follow?
Nothing.
Who job bless?
No man cares. No man cares.
Yes, I'm saying.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I am not this one who live in fear and think. You have a challenge, you sit down and you find solution to it. Not talk about it, boy, this and that. No, I don't have time for that. If the country has a challenge and you're concerned about it, then come with a recommendation to me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Come.
Solution oriented.
Let's talk solution. You see? And that's what leaders do. And that's what people who are serious about Dominic could do. You know what I'm saying? Let's not go lament and problem and this and this and that and this and this. No. Because if many people have to lament and even their own homes or what their challenges, you know what man or woman they'll put outside? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I see the cup more than half full.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Our cup getting ready to flow.
But again, I don't want to take much of the time, comrades. I'm really mindful of the fact that your other callers calling. I appreciate you taking my call, and I look forward to coming back.
Then we are looking forward.
Looking forward to you again.
But
you go to
one of the
health.
most important things I want to do is to take questions from the public. You know,
That would be great.
I prefer to take questions from the public than I speak all the time.
They've been sending them, you know, so hopefully next time.
So
Yes,
put all of them together and you just shoot them at me next time I come.
yes, PM. Looking forward to it.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you very much, PM,
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
for this information
Thank
from the Honorable Prime Minister. Yeah, thank you very much. That was the Honorable Prime Minister of Dominica with some very insightful information there.
Inspiring.
Yeah.